All right, good afternoon. It's a beautiful Sunday here in my living room. My name is Lance Rushing, and I am a programmer, but I haven't done any OBS CSS in, man, a long time since I've been doing any browser styling at all to make animations or transitions, but that's what I'm going to try to do today. So you're going to come along with me for the ride as I figure out, and maybe we figure out together, how to do a little CSS overlays in OBS today. So last time I started, I wrote a basic web server that can OBS will listen to. Let's go ahead and switch over to, I have a sample OBS screen open here, and we're going to add a browser source to create some overlays on top of it. And then when we add the overlays, we'll maybe do a top, a middle, and a bottom section that we can then later address with JavaScript, and we'll add some colors, make sure they're transparent correctly, and then start figuring out how to do some JavaScript transition, probably CSS transitions with JavaScript creating the new thing or not. I'm not sure yet. I'll figure it out. So as we go along here. So I think everything's going good on the stream. Hope so. If you don't know, I do these live because all their warts and mistakes I'll make, you get to see them and laugh along with me. And I don't take myself too seriously on this, but hopefully there's some value to this to somebody someday. So, all right, let's get started. So, we've got an OBS screen. I've added a browser plugin or a browser source. And if I check the properties on that browser source, I've pointed it to this local web server I'm running here. I have it running in Goland, and it's just pulling up OBS HTML, which is a static file for now, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to be figuring out how the static assets work. So cancel that. And let's go ahead and turn that on. So I have it here in the background here to see. It's just a black page with, this is a test inside a div. Let's go back to OBS. And so if I turn it on here in this OBS window, it's just this totally black window. Not too interesting yet, but we're going to start adding some things. I have a few things I worked on a little bit last week, but not a lot. So the first things first is I really want to make sure this background gets sized correctly. And so we're going to just add some specifics. We're going to add no margin, and we're going to set the height to the OBS broadcast. Now this is for me statically, so I'm just doing what is it, 19? Oh, I can't remember the 19. Is it 1920 pixels? I don't know. That's the width, and then the height is 1080. I can't type pixels. Is that 1920? Is that the right word? I'm gonna go check that in the browser. Let's see here. Just let's wait to ask that. Best resolution for YouTube streaming. 1080p, 1920 by 1080. All right, yeah, that's what I thought. And as you'll see, when you're building things as a programmer, sometimes you forget. Sometimes you just don't remember really well. So, all right, we'll leave that for now. We'll hit refresh over here. Nothing really changed, but this got tighter. And if we look at our little sample OBS, refresh, you see it tighten right up to the side. Now, the next thing we need to add is some opacity. Now, opacity, if I remember correctly, is supposed to be a 0 to 1 value. That's a percentage. So let's just do 0.25. And let's go to OBS here. Let's move this over here. We'll move this one over here to the left a little bit more. How does that look on the stream? It looks all right. Get rid of that. All right, let's refresh. And I still can't see behind the window here because there is some things behind the window. Let's go down to 0. And refresh. Huh. Can't see the things that are zeroed out. And notice I also got little scroll bars that got added. If I interact, the browser, probably because I'm right at the max. That the window size was set to. What if I just bring these down 20 pixels each? If that will get rid of my scroll bar problem. We got rid of one of them. Let's try to go 1880. Oh no, I got rid of the sidebar. Wrong one. 1040. And I could probably do that more elegantly by let me open that back up. Let me close all these other tabs. Oops, give me the wrong button. Right click, close other tabs. Thank you. Why is this thing still transparent in the background? I noticed OBS had a default it created on, might be a window setting, because there is, no, there's not window. Let's do something here. Let's add another browser. Browser 2, and I notice it comes with this as a default background RGBA, so basically a black background with 0 on the alpha channel, and margin auto overflow hidden. Let's cancel that. Let's delete this, remove, and I just created that new one to go get that. Hey, look at that. I wonder if that is always necessary for OBS. It might be. So back to this browser. I'll remove that. So we can still see that this is a test up here. But refresh. The background is transparent versus the entire body. If I RGB with alpha, let's go white. What, 100%? That's interesting. If it's a user style that's being applied to the page no matter what, then it won't matter what I put here. But let's take a look at that div. Let's see if we apply a style to the div elements. Not really space that out too much. And I got a window. So I can do the div. It's just the background on the body is being overridden by the suggested style. All right, we'll just run with the suggested style for now. And here we have a div. All right, so we have transparency, and if I move this down to 50%, and refresh here at OBS, save. What? Maybe it is an integer or 50%. Maybe it just want a percent sign. So a little helper. Hey, okay, we'll do percentages. Maybe that was my problem in this place. And just out of curiosity, can I override this with an important or not? I can. Aha. That's good to know. That if you're trying to develop something for other people to use in OBS, that if they had something configured you really wanted to, you could do the important. Of course, they could do the important too. Then you're just into a important arms race. But we'll leave that off for now. Refresh. So let's make 3 divs. ID equals top. Duplicate, and we'll call this middle. Bottom. Top. And the top, let's say we want a different background. I have to admit, I have an affinity for background color, and this ID helps me choose it. Say we wanted like a light blue on the background. And let's just see what that looks like. Yeah. And give me the picker. Give me the picker. Random color. Sure. And the bottom. Some other, how about some random yellowy color? There's a dark mustard kind of look. All right, refresh. Okay, we got all three there. So we know the height of the page already, so we can start making these. We can use a CSS reset, which probably is the right way to do this, but for right now, we'll just margin 0 on all the divs. What I'm looking for is to cram all these together. And why is this separate? So that's why I kept this browser window open here, for I can inspect these. And if I ever get confused about why something's laid out in a certain way, like, oh, there's no margin, there's no padding. Why is there a gap between here? CSS questions want to know. It might be from the H1s that they have a margin on them of 20 pixels, which is pushing out here. Let's just test that. That's it. Okay, same thing here. Browser, refresh. All right, now we got them all crammed together. And let's figure out how big we want to make each section. So if the whole screen's 1080, if you divide it into 4, what's that, 250 plus 20, so 270 each section. But we'll make the middle have double that. So let's specify the height. Let's just do the height of the first one. So what do we say, 270 pixels? Let's see what that looks like. All right, there's our top section. And let's do padding 0 also. Does that make a difference? Not really. Okay. Let's do the bottom 270 and the middle 270 times 2, which would be 540. I'm gonna lock these two. I keep clicking on them. Oh, I turned them off. Oh, no. Lock. I still see a little bit of edge sticking out here around the browser. Perhaps I don't have a Control F. Right click, make sure I filled that. That's that transform. Fill to screen. Control F. All right, there's a little tiny edge there. Is it a border? Border width. I don't know. I'm not gonna worry about it for now. I'll leave that in my questions of unknown. All right, now. Okay, so now I've got each of these sections defined. What could you put down here in each one? So, now all these really will be transparent. I'm just putting the colors right now before I can visually identify the different sections. What to do next? Well, inside this div, there will be another div. And maybe this has the, you know, something about the person who's speaking. And this div will be vertically centered inside of its section. I don't know what to call it. Maybe content? I don't know. That's kind of bad. Maybe let's just call it a message for now. Change your minds later. So we have these .message class and CSS class, and we want to margin. I want to vertically center it. This might be time to go Stack Overflow. Margin top auto. I think I have to do something different if memory serves. Margin bottom. Refresh. Yeah. All right. Let's go see if we can figure that out. Let's jump up the browser here. All right. The vertically center div inside a div. Yeah. Vertically center div inside another. All right. Yeah. Someone's problem. Here's what their problem was. Vertical line middle works, but you have to use table cell in your parent elements to the inline block. It's a child. The solution will not work on these, but it's safer to use those. I think you don't mind. Modern solution. Okay. Classic using tables. You know, tables could work. Modern using transforms. Ooh, what do we have here? My favorite solution is Flexbox. Well, here is, I think we want to go Flexbox, right? That's what the cool kids are doing today. Here's a popular answer. This one's very thorough, but translate. Absolute WebKit translates. Ooh, that's interesting too. Let's try the Flexbox for now. I don't know where it went. Fresh. All right, it's in the center. All right, justify content, align content center. Yeah, but I want it vertically centered. Now that I think I want to use Flexbox, maybe I can do vertically center div using Flex. Aligning items in a Flex container. Scan, cross axis. So dot box of line as, and then you have to give it a width perhaps. And that will make it in the middle. So my piece of content, I have to specify its size. All right, well, let's see that. Well, no, it's still not vertically. Specified its height. Justify contents, display effects. Display flex, justify center, align center. Maybe. I wonder if the I wonder if everything has to be display flex. No, it's still not centering it vertically. That's interesting. This one fell outside the div. All right, let's see. Section width. So we define a section, and we define a div. It's an inline block. And then, but now we did the flexion to flex, and we told it the content center. Oh, the content center needs to be on the inside this box. Aha. And all right. Okay. And width. Ooh, I don't know. 800 pixels. All right. What's that, Franklin? I'll go borrow someone's font family here. What's this one look like for? Sure. And size. I think for OBS we should probably do pixel size instead of units because it's just going to be an image on the screen. In this case, I'm using a font. Later, I'd imagine you use graphics for your titles and slide the title images around. But for right now, let's just use this. How big do I want it? Well, let's see what 50 pixels looks like. This should be plenty big. All right. And all these other divs. Opacity, let's do it for 50%. Just where we kind of get a feel for what's going on here. All right. In fact, let's just turn these two off here since we're working on the bottom. And, oh, I don't want opacity. I want a background opacity. Is there an alpha? Peak size position X. I guess you have to do it the RGB way. RGB. And is that background color? Yeah, background color. What color is this thing? Oh, I wonder if we could add a little. Oh, that's cute. Look at that. Oh, that works. Now, how to slide it around on the screen during transition? Well, let's just do a fade first before we start sliding. Let's add a little script here at the bottom. Put it down here at the bottom because our page will be loaded and we don't have to worry about any document loading at the moment. Let's just do a timeout after 1 second. Go window, set, timeout. Yes, set, timeout. And we'll do this old school. I know we probably do this with arrow functions. Let's after 1 second. So we're gonna do something after 1 second. And let's just turn off the display on this. So it's been a while since I've done this. So I'm going to just select the item and then set the opacity. Yeah, I'll just set the opacity to 0. Oh, the transition. So window dot get element. It's by class. Is that right? Ready to that one? Message. Was it document? document.getElements by class. I don't know if the ID doesn't like that, and I'm doubting myself. So I like to test that using the browser. Refresh, and then you can just go to console and see what you got here. No, not getElements by class. Help me out here. GetElements by class name. There it is. All right. All right, one div. Dot. The style. Dot opacity. Nothing called style. Oh, I gotta get the first one. Dot style. There we go. Dot opacity. And we can do 0 equals 0. There he is. So I can turn off that message. Of course, this is not the way I'm going to do this, but refresh share. So 1001, and it disappears. And right, let's go figure out how to do some CSS transitions. It's been a long time. Yes, 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 yes. Define the transition property, duration, timing function. Look at that. So we could put a transition on, this case, font size. That's cute. So let's do a transition on opacity for the message with height, background, transformations. Do opacity. And now when it fades out, it fades out. So changing, since I'm setting the opacity here to 0, it'll take what the current opacity is of the message box and transitions away. That's nice. Okay. So now we can also, on different things, all with the same second, and okay, that works too. I think this is more implicit. Highlight menus. All right, so using hover and focus, we are changing the background and color, and for those events. Click on the ball to move. We make a ball using JavaScript. We are translating the position of the ball. Transform. So when I click on the ball, so every time I click, it transforms a little bit. Yeah, it's transform, translate Y, translate X. And this is to be able to use all right, so this is a JavaScript function that's getting the current Y and X and moving it away. Well, it's keeping track of it. All right, let's try, instead of let's say we add a translation for, was it comma? Yeah, comma. For the left position property. And it's also going to take 2 seconds. And here we're going to set the opacity, and we're also going to set the left property to 0. Now, how would that work with the? Oh, it didn't move. That might be due to the positioning with Flexbox. CSS transition position with flex. Yes, justified content's not a transitionable property. Yes. Okay, so we can't use Flexbox if we want to use transitions. We can position it with absolute, which might work in our case. Now this one, on the flex property itself, well, the dummy container hovered flex auto, but the dummy is flex is off. Mixing flex and non-flex, interesting. Can't animate justify content, but do so. Flex this one to flex one, flex from flex none. Let's avoid flex altogether. So we'll back up. No more flex display. Let's go to positioning. So all of these will be positioned relative to each other. And then the message, which has this height and width, will be positioned absolute. And, you know, the top would be, let's say 20 pixels from the top, and the left, oops, and the left will be 200 pixels from the left. Font size, font. We'll leave that there for now. So, Lance, there, start to slide and go away. So we slid over to 0, but we would want to slide over to like -1000. Fresh. And nope, it didn't go. Oh, pixels need a unit. Hello? Oh, this is a string now. So you can see it appear and then slide away. I don't know if we need to change the opacity. This is Lance Rushing, and there we go. So we would trigger the transition on a slide change or a transition from a group of overlays, a scene, and not to be confused with the OBS scene, but I'm going to still call it a scene. So we get to define a scene 1 and a scene 2, and then as things are triggered via control panel, it would slide away. All right. Well, obviously I don't want this gray color here for the footer. Get rid of that for now. And I'm thinking. We'll just keep all the CSS right here for now. You know, really H1s might not be the right. Yeah. Of course, I can't see it because of a white background. If I reload here, there you see it move. And then these are tests. Don't need these hanging out here. All right, and that needs to be bigger font. Maybe even 200 pixel worth of font. Let's, all right, and now let's always make the width 1900. And let's make the left when we transition all the way to 2000. Don't forget to set the right property and go to 0. All right, so here I am, Lance Rushing, and then it goes away. Just out of curiosity, let's go ahead and put this on my screen here. Something's still not quite perfect there, but I'll figure that out later. All right, so in summary, I figured out just how to get the browser working, refresh myself on basic CSS, and tried to do it with Flexbox for the positioning. But if I'm not really doing text anyway, most of these are going to be images, they're going to be assets people are going to upload and place, and they're going to want them to appear in the OBS stream in a certain location. So the next step will be transitioning between the scenes using a control panel and triggering those events in the version. So there'll be a web page that will be the control panel, and another web page that will be transitioning the events. All right, sounds good. All right, thank you so much for joining me. Hopefully we learned something, or I learned something, and we had some fun. All right, talk to you later. Bye.